Hi guys. Most recently, we gave away our G-Wagon 6x6, or an old bucket of the 95th year. It was in a very bad condition, but we restored it and made a beautiful 6x6 G-Wagon out of it. Why so old? Because we delivered this G-Wagon to the USA and it somehow passes customs control over the years. Maybe you remember the G-Wagon 55 compressor that we converted into 6x6 in matte gray. It was brought from the USA and it was on American plates. After our restructuring, it was taken to the USA on the same numbers. And now the owner drives it around the States and sends me beautiful photos. And this proves that the delivery was successful as everyone was worried, the owner and I. Now we are starting a new project, also a G-Wagon 6x6. This is no longer an old bucket. I called this project expensive and rich. Why is that? Because it will be a 2015 diesel car. Mileage 20,000 kilometers. The condition is perfect. Let's take a look at this. I think that you noticed that the G-Wagon was a little disassembled. I stole it from my guys to show you what it is now and what it will be like. We will build a black 6x6 G-Wagon, aggressive and full anti-chrome. There will also be a lot of carbon. Weave is the same as the original. The front will be completely from the 63rd G-Wagon. You can see that the front bumper is already installed. Lighting devices will also be in black, aggressive and evil. The front grille will be completely covered with carbon fiber. Body trims will be Brabus style, gill style trims will also be Brabus style. There are a lot of carbon and it's hard for me to name everything. Let's talk about the salon. The steering wheel is installed from the 63rd G-Wagon, restyling. The dashboard is also from the 63rd, despite the fact that this G-Wagon is on a diesel engine. We will also install a monitor, large and restyled, from the 17th year. The front part of the cabin will probably be altered, maybe we will also install seats from the 63rd. But the back will be different from the original. And the back sofa will be with electricity. We will take the sofa from the latest BMW 7 or from the Mercedes 222 series. But it will be further, I will show and tell everything. Wheels and tires will be completely like the original, fender extensions are completely made of carbon. But what about the exhaust? Let me show you better, and you will stop asking such questions. You heard that there is sound, and there is even a magic button that changes the sound of the exhaust. It got louder. Even louder. There is also a mute. In general, this is called active exhaust. Some people may like it, and some may not. I personally don't. The sound of the 63rd cannot be replaced by anything, just like the 55th compressor. The most interesting thing in this project is that portal axles will be installed here. But not as we usually do, that is, we install axles from Volvo, rebuild them. On the one hand, everything is fine, everything works fine, but on the other hand, not factory. In the case of this project, we leave the factory axles and install final drives on them. From the German manufacturer. Now the market is full of all sorts of shit, for example, Russian final drives and reviews about them are mostly negative. There are also fake German manufacturers. Let me remind you that we are official dealers of the Tibus company. Hello everyone, today we have a guest from Germany, Tibus. And now we will have portal axles at very good prices.
Yeah, hello. We have now our Ukrainian dealer, and it's him. And he will sell now our T-Bus products, the portals, and for Ukraine he's the main dealer, the only dealer. And take care that you do not buy any copies or knockoffs from T-Bus. He will sell you the correct ones in Ukraine. He's a partner for you in Ukraine.
Contact us, now portal axles are only with us. T-Bus. 6 final drives will be installed here. We will also build a through axle, but I will talk about this a little later. And here are our onboard gearboxes from a German manufacturer. Let me remind you, beware of fakes. When T-Bus came to us, he said that now a lot of fakes are being made in the CIS countries. They call them funny names and sell them. Never buy this. If it looks like this final drive but with a different name, don't buy it. It is advisable to buy such parts from the manufacturer, or from us. What are they good for in this project? You don't damage your car. You still have the axles from the factory and you just install the final drives on the sides, install the ABS sensors and everything is fine. A place for bolts, etc. immediately for gel invasion. They do not create noise and vibrations. The only thing I would ask the manufacturer is to make the transmission capacity for 37 wheels. Because they are made for 35s. This is a very big request, I ask from the bottom of my heart. All gel invasion owners most likely want this. On this gel invasion, the wheels must be at least size 37 so that everything looks beautiful with large expanders. Arches. There are also downsides. First of all, the price. Because to install 6 onboard gearboxes, also a through gearbox on the middle axle, modify the rear axle, install universal joints and so on. If you count, you get a huge amount of money. If you take Volvo axles and do whatever you want with them, the amount will be much less. But if you have a new gel invasion and you are remodeling it for high speeds, then it is better to build it on final drives. If the gel invasion is for off-road, then you'd better take Volvo axles. These are unkillable axles and the best you can take for off-road. This is the best thing I have seen in my life. I told you the most important thing about this project. There won't be many episodes, but I'm not sure yet. I think that everything can fit in one big episode. Let's go disassemble. If you ask a question, what are the bad fake final drives or Russian production? I won't say a lot of bad things, you can search the internet yourself and you yourself will see everything. Reviews of people who use them. Also fakes of those final drives that I showed you. You can't just come and do it and conquer the whole market. For example, I will take the UAZ axles. Also GAZ 66 axles. Both of these axles are strong but they are like plasticine. All metal and bolts are very soft. Everything breaks and bends because it is not reliable. I will also tell you about the final drives for Volvo axles, which I bought from a Croatian company. On the market for a very long time. They are highly praised. I bought from them and I will say that this is complete shit. Because none of the masters could set them up properly. And due to the fact that they cannot be configured, when you unscrew the bolt to drain the oil, metal filings appear in the oil. The metal is crap and the gears are poorly made even though the company has been on the market for a very long time. And at the expense of these final drives, I am sure that they are silent and trouble-free. But if you want, you can break everything. And I record this for those people who think that final drives are a trifle. This is not true. When the final drive breaks, and it breaks not gradually but immediately, the gears are broken and as a result the wheel does not roll. And it can happen at the most inconvenient moment. You just wanted to arrive or leave beautifully and you have a stuck wheel in a 4 or 6-wheeled monster. I think final drives are more important than engine or gearbox. If something happens, you are in emergency mode. If the engine breaks down, then you can simply order a tow truck and load the car onto it. And in the case of final drives, you don't really have a wheel and you can just break everything inside when you load the car onto a tow truck. These are not all problems. As a rule, there are no spare parts for fakes or homemade final drives. And you will come to the person who made them. And this person will ask you for gears to copy them, and you will have to disassemble another final drive only already working. Give the gears for a couple of months while they make new gears for you. And it's not a fact that you won't have these problems further. And you have a choice. Take cheap final drives from a no-name company and have a lot of problems, or buy expensive but reliable ones. I wouldn't risk it. I would pay more for the proven German final drives that we will be installing now. These are not the coolest and ideal final drives, but they do an excellent job. The company has been on the market for over 10 years and they have experience. Write your thoughts about fakes, copies, etc. in the comments. And I went to disassemble the Gelänwagen. We have reached the point of no return. Now we will cut the Gelänwagen. Am I worried? No, even more than 10 years ago when we were engaged in limousines, we constantly cut cars into two halves. Then I was worried, but now with experience all the worries are gone. Now we will build the back wall. It will be 1-to-1 like the original. Previously, we made reinforcements in the wall in order to install fasteners for the spare wheel so that the wall would not break from a lot of weight. Now we have taken a different path, but we will think about the wheel at the very end. So we made the back of the frame. We took all the metal from the factories and it is all rusty. You know what I like when everything is clean. Now we take all the metal that will be involved in the construction of the rear of the car and take it to the sandblasting. After that, we will cover everything with epoxy primer. Another body for G-Wagon 6x6 is ready. I have already told how we do the back and I will not repeat. If you want to know, watch old videos. Inside, everything is covered with soil and sandblasting. And in the end, when we will already install the boards, we will cover everything with Moval. It is necessary. We are not in a factory where there is a large container with this thing where the parts are dropped and every millimeter will be covered. In our case, we primed what we saw. Inside, amplifiers, etc. are not primed. Our task is to protect the interior from moisture as much as possible. Outside, everything is made of a single sheet of metal, there are no welds in problem areas. You may know that if a weld is around here, it will sag over time. In our case, this is spot welding. This will close the arch extension. Here's another, but here a wide molding will be installed from the beginning to the end of the car. And here is another seam, but it is in a hard place where the sun or cold will not change its size. If the metal is heated, then it expands, if it is colder, then it narrows, and if this seam was in an easy place, there would be cracks, etc. We will not allow such things. That's all we can sell. Arches, metal, etc. There is also an already built rear body, for those who are interested, the link to the website is below. A few more words about the back door. It is made from a single piece of metal, there are no welds, etc. But the inner side and so on were more difficult for us. We will also cover the part with primer, because if moisture gets in, 100% rust will flow out, because there is no primer inside. We made a few holes to pour the soil in and just stir the part until the soil covers the entire space. Amplifiers here and there are primed. And they are sealed with sealant so that the structure is solid. We used a joint sealant specifically for this purpose. The door mechanism and handle are completely original. Also locks and holders are original. If something is lost or broken, a person can buy original ones and everything will work. There is nothing homemade in the mechanism, and even if it were, it would be difficult to replace it in the event of a breakdown. And to be honest, it's more beautiful if everything is original. Everything works fine, closes, reaches the stops, everything is like from the factory. I already showed you that the back wall is 1:1 like the original. See for yourself. I want to show you what else we have for this project. We have tires in size 37, completely like the original. Brought from USA. It is not very popular, but for some reason it is installed on G-Wagons. Who builds the project 1:1 chooses this option. If you want cheaper, you can choose this one. This tire is slightly wider and has a different tread but is half the price. This one is $650 and this one is $350. Think for yourself whether you want to save money or not. Here are our front carbon arches that will be installed on the G-Wagon. There are rear ones too. The weave is exactly like the original. You may know that we used to do English plaid and it's Mansouri style and it's great. And in my opinion the English cage is better than this one. Because this weaving is already tiring with its appearance. And the English cell is exclusive and not everyone is with it. Although now many types of weaving have already appeared, and if someone wants another weaving, we can do it without problems. We also made a carbon fiber windshield cover. And in fact we keep a lot of carbon parts in stock, because often they call me wanting to buy something. We really try to get even weaving and everything to be perfect. And there were no these stupid waves or curvature. Let's take a closer look. Our lining is very smooth and it is not a shame to install it on expensive cars. Because poor carbon fiber weaving is common. Also, we may have a marriage, but we either paint the part black and sell it or give it away for very little money. Carbon requires very precise work, and if you make a little mistake, the part can be thrown away. But we already have experience and we try our best. Here is a bumper cover in the style of a house. The part is perfectly even, it remains to install the mesh and install it on the car and everything will look great. And we also have protection for this gel invasion. In fact, not only for this gel invasion, we have many such parts because we also sell these parts. The front guard is exactly the same as the original. Previously, we only had 4x4 squared, but now we managed to buy the original protection, we copied it and we got exactly the same protection. This stainless steel piece has been glass blasted and has a nice matte finish. Rear protection in aluminum. Why not stainless? Because if you install bumpers, aluminum pipes, etc., then the stainless steel part will have a very large weight. Therefore, we make them from aluminum, 4 mm thick. And here are the discs that will be installed on this gel invasion. Let me remind you of their parameters. Diameter 10 inches, can withstand a load of 1,200 kilograms. These are exactly the same wheels as the AMG. But AMG is 50 kilograms weaker. I will say that they are balanced, strong, there are no problems. But there is no beadlock like the original. The original wheels are designed so that when you lower them to zero, the rubber will not come out of the disc. In our case, it will not go down to zero. Because the projects are expensive and they are not ordered by sheiks from the United Arab Emirates. And ordinary people make beautiful toys for themselves, and I think they will not leave the roads. The only difference from these discs and those that we installed on Volvo axles is the offset. Here he is completely different. Because the Volvo axles are a bit narrower and we make the offset longer so that the wheels are exactly under the arches. In this case, final drives with a factory axle are wider than Volvo axles and we need discs with a different offset. We have already thought of everything and these are the discs that we need. And a common question. Why don't we do tire inflation? My opinion is why pay for something that you will not use? This mechanism costs a lot of money. Therefore, you need to install compressors, receivers, and therefore also make wiring. Then install the control panel in the cabin, arrange all the sensors, this is a big pile of money. Personally, I'm not interested. I never deflate tires and there will be no off-road on this gel invasion either. If you want I can make a tire inflation system for you. What else interesting will we have? The rear suspension will not be ordinary, as well as the front. The suspension will be exactly the same as that of a 4x4 squared. That is, 2 shock absorbers and 2 springs per wheel with special fasteners. You ask why? And I will answer you that the client asked for it, and we will do it. And supposedly it's beautiful. In my opinion, this is something new and something not bad and not like everyone else. And the most interesting thing is that this gel invasion will be redone in 2020. We ordered a set of fenders, hood, lights, grills, mirrors, rear light, in general, everything you need. Also the rear bumper and it looks really good in the photo. I did not find the use of such a kit on YouTube or somewhere on the internet, perhaps we will do it first. In fact, this is not bad and worthy. I'll show you a photo of what it looks like on the frame before and after the alteration. It seems to me that this is a very good result and outwardly it will turn out perfectly. In general, I told you everything that we will do and what are our plans for the project and so on. We are currently having difficulties with parcels because the delivery companies are doing very poorly right now, and you know why. Unfortunately, it is so. At this point, I end the video. Next we will have painting work on the back. I'll also tell you how it's done. You can see that the wall of the rear body is perfectly flat, but you still need to cover it all with putty and then level it to get the perfect result. The putty will remain a millimeter or somewhere 2 or even 0. The deck removes everything. I'm done. Bye everyone.